What's going on, guys? Luke with Shift to Strength here. Today I want to walk you through a mobility plan you can incorporate before you get into your workout. This is going to be a full body mobility routine targeting tight muscles and weak muscles that office workers generally will have. So this is for you that's a sedentary individual for the majority of the day that then needs to quickly get into the gym, bang out their workout, and then get on with their day. So we're going to keep this short, to the point, but also highly effective too. We're going to talk about, first things first, what muscles we need to work. You need to have those in the back of your mind before you get into the gym. Get focused on those. So for office workers, you're doing a lot of sitting. You're at the office, you're typing all day. What does that mean? What muscles are going to be tight? You may have heard this before. Hip flexors, front of the hip, going to be tight, going to be weak. And then don't forget about the upper body too, guys. That's going to have a big impact on how we move in both our upper and actually our lower body movements. So think about opening up the chest, opening up the body. That's the biggest thing. Think about what muscles are going to be tight on us and then work the opposite muscles. So for the chest, it's going to be the back muscles. For the lower body and the hip flexors, that's going to be the hips. So before we get into the actual movements I want to do with you, we're going to talk specifics on how long the warm-up should be and what order should we do these movements in. So first things first, guys, we don't want to be spending half an hour warming up. 10 minutes max, and ideally 5 minutes, getting in there quickly, being effective with the specific movements. Second thing, we're going to start with static stretching first. So that is statically holding and lengthening a tight muscle for a desired amount of time. Then we're going to get more into mobility drills. So now taking that applied movement we just opened up and then using it in a range of motion. And then we're going to strengthen that area. So that's the third thing we're going to do, is actually strengthen muscles that are weak. So we're going to follow that system. Let's get into the first one. So the first thing we're going to do is a static hip flexor stretch with a reach. So you're going to be a bit wider in your stance. So that means your back leg is going to be behind you. Square forward with your hips. We're going to drive forward with our hips, hand down beside you, same side. Then we're going to rotate up. So hand to the ceiling. And we're going to feel a really nice stretch in the hip flexor, but also in the upper body. So this is a good 2-for-1 stretch. And that's what I want you to think about, guys. Getting the most bang for your buck with your warm-up and your stretches. We're doing both the upper body and lower body movement. We're just gonna hold this for 30 seconds, and then you're gonna switch to the other side. Now 30 seconds on the other side. Forward, again, hand same side as that, the knee that's driving up. Hand fully extended, driving forward, feeling a really nice stretch in the hip flexor, and then also opening up that chest. Static stretch number 2, we're going to be doing what's called a bretzzel or pretzel, whatever you want to call it. Another full body move, getting the most bang for a buck. For this one, we're going to be working the upper traps, so opening that up. Super important, guys, because a lot of times our shoulders get elevated, and in order to reverse that, we need to open up that trap. Secondly, we're going to get that chest activated too, and not only are we going to work the upper body, we get to get that lower body as well. We're going to open up the opposite side hip flexor with this stretch. We're going to get the core involved on both sides, a nice stretch there, and overall great move. Holding it again 30 seconds, once per side. Grab something to support your neck, because otherwise you're going to create a lot of tension unnecessarily. So grab something like some type of pad or something to put down, like I have here. So starting, laying down on the side, knee forward, so opposite leg over the top. You're going to have your left hand, in this case, over top to keep that knee from moving. Secondly, you're going to reach behind you, grabbing your shoelaces on your foot. Then you're going to open up your chest. So you're going to start to rotate tall in the chest while still having your neck on that pad, rotating out to the side, and we're going to get a nice stretch right here in that trap, so upper trap there, and then a really nice stretch also down in that leg, all while we're keeping this other knee down, opening. For breathing, guys, really important to breathe through this one. Breathe through the stomach, continue to expand. 30-second hold. All right, so when you're done there, that's it for the static stretching. Now we're gonna move on to more mobility-based movement. So we finished up with our static stretches. Now let's apply it with movement. So moving on to our mobility drills. You should be about 2 minutes into your mobility routine at this point, no longer. No dawdling around, let's get to the workout as quickly as possible. So the first drill we're gonna do is we're gonna be on all fours, and what we're gonna do is called thoracic rotation, or for short, we're just working that mid-chest and the shoulders, opening them up. We're gonna do a modified version with our hand behind our back, or on our neck, sorry. So we're gonna be on all fours, hand behind, and then we're gonna rotate from the side in, and then prying and opening up the chest. So the whole time, I'm staying on all fours. I'm not trying to rotate too much with anything else. I'm not trying to move my hips. Everything stays square, but I'm opening up my chest as tall as I can, elbow as tall as I can, holding back down. Touching your hand and your wrist on the other side, and then rotating back up again. Gonna do 10 reps per side, just a single set there. Exercise 4 for mobility. We're gonna do mostly lower base movement now. We're gonna do what's called a hip rotation, and then we're gonna include some active ankle range of motion too with it. So what that's gonna look like is gonna have my arms out to the sides, feet out to the sides. I'm gonna rotate my hips to the side, get planted, set. Then I'm gonna bring my front leg forward, this, and I'm gonna drive my body all the way in so my hips come forward. I am planning to get a really nice stretch in my ankle here and actually in the back of my hip as well. So I'm getting a 2-for-1. I'm hitting both my hips in different ranges of motions and getting my ankle as well. Place your hand back down, rotate to the other side, then repeat. Other side here, get set, hand planted, forward. Then I'm gonna move my whole body together as a unit, getting a nice stretch again in my hips, and then also my ankle too. So you really wanna activate that front knee, even if you need to bring your foot further back to get that enough stretch in that ankle, because we're trying to get both the hips and the ankle stretched right now. Back, repeat. So you're gonna repeat for a total of 12 reps, 6 reps aside, just a single set there as well. So at this point, you should be about 4 minutes in. We got 1 minute left, so let's finish off with a great dynamic core movement. Not only are we gonna mobilize our joints, we're also gonna train how to stabilize the core properly. And the key takeaway for the Deadbug exercise, which is what we're doing, is I want you guys to make sure that your back stays flat on the ground. A lot of people, the low back will start to elevate up and you create some separation. Draw in your belly button to the ground, squeeze your core tight, move as a unit. Let's go through that movement now. So we're gonna be back on all fours, looking upright here. Now I'm gonna move my opposite arm and leg. So what that looks like is they're gonna move back. So let's go with the right side first. Right arm, left leg are both gonna fully extend out, while my other limbs are actually gonna stay straight exactly where they are. I see a lot of people, they'll move their other limbs around while the other ones are moving too. You wanna keep everything straight and tight. So core tight, move as a unit. Other arm staying stationary. Reach as far back as you can with your arm and extend your leg as far as you can. Come back to that start position. Keep alternating those hands in that position there, getting a nice stretch. So we're working that overhead position with our shoulders, and we're working actually to open up the hip flexors and use the core as well. So again, not only is this a great core exercise, we're actually mobilizing the body in a great way as well. So for this one, I want to do 10 reps aside, so 20 total and 2 sets of this. All right, so you just got to minute 5 and you've just finished your last warm-up exercise. That's great. So now we can get into our exercise routine. So a couple of key takeaways, guys, from this video. First thing is we did and prioritized multiple muscles whenever we could. So in our static warm-ups, we tried to get as many muscles open as possible in that short time frame, but we kept it effective too, because we worked the muscles that oftentimes people that work in the office feel tight with. You want to think about, no matter what you do for your warm-up, something for the hips, so something to open up the hip flexors, and something for the shoulders, so some type of shoulder opener. We did both those with our opening moves. Then we applied the mobility aspect. So then we started working, ranges of motion in that new applied movement we just got with our static stretches. You see the theme here? First we open up some type of muscle that's tight, then we apply movement to that muscle, and then we finish off by strengthening. So at the end there, we did that dead bug. That's what I would pick for you guys as a great starting place. From there, just continue to progress and add as you need. But hope you got a lot out of this video. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.